This conference will now be recorded.
I call this meeting to order. Tonight's meeting is being held virtually and will be posted on the town's YouTube page. First order of business, I open a public hearing for the 2021 budget. We advertised that anyone wishing to speak in favor or against the 2021 budget may do so by requesting the link to tonight's meeting by 3:30 p.m. today. The preliminary budget has been posted on the town's website since October 22nd, 2020 for anyone to view. The tax levy is 1%. That equates to $12,812, giving a total of $1,291,564. Is there anyone here who wants to speak for or against the proposed 2021 budget?
Joe, just for the record, I did not receive any requests for anyone to join the meeting this evening.
As well, it's me. For the record, Town Supervisor Joe Zetta did not receive any emails requesting the link for this meeting.
Okay, Leonard Govern here. I'd like to move that we close the hearing, the public hearing.
We have moved.
Kevin Armstrong.
And Kevin Armstrong seconded it. All in favor?
Aye.
Kevin Armstrong.
Let's, Rhonda, do a roll, please.
Councilman Armstrong,
Aye.
Councilman Govern,
Aye.
Councilman Rodriguez,
Aye.
Councilwoman Wood,
Aye.
Supervisor Seta.
Aye.
Okay,
It's carried. This public hearing is closed. Thank you, everyone. Okay. I believe there is no one on. So floor time, we can, offer it up, but there's no one here. So let's go to the approval of the minutes of 5 and 22 October 2020. Everybody get a chance to read through those?
Yep. I'll make a motion. We approve them as submitted. Kevin Armstrong.
Dr. Rodriguez here, I second it.
We have a movement by Councilman Armstrong and a second by Councilman Dr. Rodriguez to approve the minutes of 5 October and 22 October 2020. All in favor?
aye.
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 That's carried. I don't believe we need to do a roll on the remaining part of the agenda, but I thought it was important for the public hearing. to do.
You should ask if anybody opposes, because you don't know if everybody say aye or not.
Well, I saw everybody, including I heard you, come out with an aye. But,
I cannot see anybody, so that's all.
all right, moving forward, I will ask that. Thank you, Dr. Rod.
Yeah.
Okay, did everybody get a copy of the assessor's report, the code, and the dog control reports?
Yeah.
I did, I should have prefaced this also that I'm sure everyone knows Sharon and Rusty's son passed away the other day, and we have a card if you can stop in and sign the card. And we also ordered flowers, and Rhonda will have the information on the flowers if you can stop in. Then thank you. So sorry for deviating from that, but let's get back to the assessor's report, the code, and the dog control reports. Are there any questions on any of those reports?
Was this their son or was it his brother?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that, Dr. Rod. Their
This
son.
was because his brother is the one that was sick, right?
Correct. Yeah, the one that's yeah, he's been sick, I think, his whole life, and he actually, according to Sharon and Rusty, lived 20 years past the time they actually told them that he would live to. So, you know, they had that much longer to be with him. So it was, but he was sick. So, okay, if there's no questions.
I
Ronnie,
don't have a question on the report, but we still talked about raising the fees for the dogs, and I haven't heard any more about that.
okay. Did I assign that to a committee?
Not to me. I think Carly was going to look at it to see if we could up the fee. Carly, am I right there?
Yeah, we were going to match what the New York State ag and market law has. But I thought that we were, instead of just piecemealing it, we were going to, I'm trying to remember here. Were we going to try to address some other issues? And I apologize, I don't have my notes home with me.
My recollection is that the people were worried about shelter, and we were going to look at that for the ag and markets law. And I think we're in compliance with that. We were just going to look and see exactly what that said, and if we wanted to add anything to it, which I think we've done before, and we had chosen not to. But we were gonna look at that because someone asked us to. But right now, Rhonda, correct me if I'm wrong, there's only one fee of $10 if they don't license their dog, and it never changes and it never goes up.
Correct. It's a one fee of $10 if they are late on their dog license renewal. But the other fees that we have are the same as the state fees, other than the new license fee, and then also the for the spay or neutered dog, or unspayed or neutered. That is something that the town set, and each township set their own fee. But as far as any fines, we have adopted the ag and markets laws. So they are.
Can we make that more?
The $10 fee?
I think it should be $10 a month until they do it, and then that would mean you wouldn't be chasing them all the time.
Well, the problem with that though is that's why we have the $25 non-license fee. It's just that the ticket has to be issued. So we can issue them $10 each month, but if they say they had a bad address or something else happened, we don't know that. So the follow-up really has to be with the ticket and the dog control officer.
But we're not getting tickets from the dog control officer, correct? And if we are, the court is not doing them?
No, the court is doing them when they get them. We do.
And there
We
is
got a couple within the court just recently, and they are taking care of those tickets.
and they're doing the additional 25, Rhonda?
Correct. Well, the initial fee is a one-time if they were, for instance, if their dog was running at large, and this is the first case that it has happened, they're doing a $25 fee. If it's the second case for the same dog, then it goes up to 50.
They
And
up
then
it. Okay. That's what I was referencing before, that we were going to match what New York State Agri Market has. But if we're there already,
we are.
yeah.
Okay, but that doesn't address the fact that they don't come in and license the dog, and there's always a list, and Rusty's running to do it, and you're involved in trying to find these people for license their dog, and for $10 fee. Can we make it a $10 a month fee until they do it?
Boy, I'm not sure if we have to follow the ag and market law. I don't know if we can deviate from that. Can we, Carly?
I'll look into it. I'll look at specifically what it says about a monthly fee for late fees or unlicensed dogs. So I think they're going to be two separate issues, one for unlicensed and then one just for a late fee. So I'll look into it. I'll send an email out later this week.
So what you're
with
saying
what
is
I
the
find.
unlicensed fee is the $25 and the late fee is the $10 right
So
now.
the unlicensed fee, I think if Rhonda, if that's when they get a ticket, and if it goes to court, the court can issue the $25
Fine. Yep.
fine, right? So the 25, yeah, it's a $25 fine. It's a $10 late fee that's not applied by the court unless there is a ticket along with that dog.
Correct.
Okay.
So it's just a matter of, the tickets are more effective, obviously, because they have to take time out of their day or evening, to attend court. They can plea, by mail and just pay the $25, fine. And then they typically, one thing with that though is if they have not licensed their dog, if it's a ticket for not licensing their dog, then the court typically makes sure that their dog is licensed when they come to court. So that way we've got the license taken care of, then they pay the fine, and it typically doesn't happen again, because now it just costs them $35 when it could have cost them $6.
Right, but we always have a large group of dogs that we can't find and so something's not effective because there's it's been 70 dogs at
Right.
times.
Right. And
So something's not effective. So apparently there haven't been tickets issued on those dogs because then it would be effective, if it was a $25 fee. That's what I was just looking at. And so instead of you guys always chasing the same people for a $10 fee, you make it a $10 a month fee and then they'd get in there a lot quicker. And couldn't the court waive that if they got another, so they ticket them for something else, no license, the court could waive the late fees if they thought that it was getting too high. Say they hadn't come in for 4 months, so now there's $40 on top of the $35 if they didn't want to do that. But right now, people are just ignoring it and not doing anything, and they're not getting ticketed that I've heard.
Well, the problem is without the ticket, though, they can't go to court and pay the late fee.
Right.
So we have to issue the ticket before we can even get paid $10 a month for a late fee.
Well, I thought they could come in and register their dog and pay the $10 fee.
No, they can come in and pay the $10 fee to me. That's part of the money that I can take in. But
it's
like
a
I said,
licensing thing.
right. We just had somebody come in from September and paid $10, even though they're 2 months past due. Just paid the $10. So
Someone's dog doesn't like this discussion.
It was my dog. Sorry, I muted myself.
so that's right, and that's something that
I don't know what the rest of you think of that. I just think that most of what I hear him running around is looking for these fees, these dogs that are overdue, and it's not cost effective for him to be running around doing that for a $10 fee that we're not getting anyway most of the time. So I don't know what the rest of you think of that, but that's why I thought we should raise the fee.
Well, here's, I did talk to Rusty and told him to be at the meeting tonight, but that was pre the recent events. So we will.
Obviously, that wasn't going to happen.
Right. We will schedule him and make sure he is at the next meeting when we have a regular
But what
meeting.
do the rest of you think of that idea? Do you agree with me? Do you not agree with me? Am I the only one that thinks that way? Then maybe you don't need to talk to Rusty. Kevin?
There, I got on mute first. If that's going to solve the problem, if $35 doesn't solve the problem, so many people are just going to ignore it no matter what it is. So, and we could try it and see. I'm not against that.
Len?
I think Rusty still with COVID, can't go out and give tickets because he's not allowed to go to people's doors, is what I understand. That's part of the reason why we wanted him here tonight, was so that we could talk to him and see what we could do. And I think he might have a better idea than we do, but I don't see any problem with raising it, just that I don't know that it's going to be any more effective. We can do it and see what happens, but
Len,
Yeah.
just to clarify, he can go to the people's homes to issue a ticket. It was the court that was not hearing any cases. Tickets were still being issued, but the court dates were pushed out until the Sixth Judicial opened back up the courts again. But he was always able to go and issue tickets.
Yeah.
okay, maybe I misunderstood him then, because I thought that he was under some COVID restrictions or limitations as to what he can do during this time as part of our illustrious governor's,
I don't know if it's so much the money either. I think it's the, some people just they don't care. It's not the money, it's just they don't care. It's their dog, they're gonna do what they want, and who is the government to tell them any different? I hate to say it that way, and I'm not saying everybody, but there are a few out there. But either way, our next meeting, when we can have Rusty in here and we can explain, he can explain his process to us and what he thinks would be, what we could do as a board to to help the situation. So
I have to go get my dog?
as long as it isn't a cat. Yeah. So, all right. Is there anything else on the reports? Okay.
No, we have a light though in the Reds Plaza. Woo, woo.
Wait, we're not there. Wait till we get
the report. Oh, those reports. Well, I thought it was a committee report.
Patty.
Joe, we also have Steve on. I don't know if he had anything to add to his report.
Steve?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, I wasn't sure if I had a mic. No, I don't have anything to add. Permits are kind of about where they have been the last couple of years for this time of year. We're a little low. Kind of average is about 100 a year. I think we're right around 69 or 70 thus far. So, and that's how it's been the last couple of years. Other than that, things are going along relatively well in the code world. So, pretty much all I got.
All right, thank you, Steve. Jeff referenced that he may not be able to get on the meeting tonight. So I asked him to reach out to, did he reach out to you, Kevin or Lynn?
I met with him last, what was it? Friday, or a week ago Friday. So, we just discussed the fleet. We discussed, what we might be looking at to purchase a mower and stuff. We talked about the driveway access permits. I don't know, Steve, if you want to comment, we'd like to sit down with you and the highway committee and have further discussions on that and how we're going to proceed. Enforcing it. So we did.
Yeah, I
did discuss that. So that's about all we.
Yeah, I think it'd be good to sit down and discuss it. There's responsibility on the end of the highway superintendent. There's apparently responsibility on my end, which is kind of the same responsibility. I don't know. I think it's maybe an education piece on my end because I'm not a road guy. You want to go stick a sluice pipe in to create a highway access. That's not necessarily my forte. So I think it needs to be Jeff and I working together on that.
Yeah, well, you're right. It's more his responsibility. But if we have a problem, we have to enforce it. I think that's where you come in. So probably I'll get a hold of you before Nick's highway committee meeting. Maybe you can meet with us then, and we'll have another discussion on it, and we'll bring it back to the board.
Okay.
Okay, and actually that's exactly what that's the process that we need to take. We've identified something, we've got a path forward, and here's how we're going to get there. So, good discussion on that. Thank you. Rhonda, you're up.
You have to go back to Jeff's report for the hiring of the seasonal employees.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, I didn't make that note. Yes, we have a number of seasonal employees. Actually, that's what I was talking to him about this morning. When I asked him to reach out to you or Kevin or Lynn to just run that by you guys. You have that list, Rhonda?
Yep.
Oh,
I do.
okay.
For the seasonal employees, and like Jeff said, that these would be per diem. He may not utilize all of them depending on the type of winter that they have this year. But for pre-approval, should they need them, Richard Doig, Mike Harrington, Steve Condon, Kylie Wiggins, Nathan Banks, Thomas Donovan, and Richard DeMunt Sr.
So I'll make a motion that we approve this list. Kevin Armstrong.
Do we have a second?
Glenn Govern, I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the list that Rhonda just read of the seasonal employees for the winter season. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion is carried. Thank you. Okay, now we can get to Rhonda's report.
Okay. Everyone should have a copy of the financial reports. And I attended a webinar on October 7th. And this webinar was part of a mandatory emergency plan that has to be developed by every municipality, fire department, or fire district. And within this plan, you have to, some of it, I should say, I should back up, protections for essential workers and protocols for secure and PPE. But it's not just COVID related. It's any type of emergency that may come up that we have to have this emergency plan in place. It has to be finalized by April 1st, 2021, and must go to the union for review. So I do have documentation of the webinar. I believe I sent everybody a copy of the webinar meeting, the recorded meeting. But I just wanted to bring it to your attention that all towns, village, counties, fire district, or departments all have to have this in place by April 1st, 2021. So that will, I'm assuming, will go to a committee.
I was gonna say, so is that a committee, and if so, what committee?
We have an emergency management committee, I think. I think you and I are on that, Patty.
Emergency Disaster Committee.
Okay.
Len Govern and Patty Wood.
You're right. All right. So do we have a starting point for this? Do we have one?
We do not have one, and I've been checking other areas, like other townships, to see if they've posted anything yet. They have not. I do have the laws when it was signed in September 7th, 2020. So we can start there, but I was kind of waiting to see if somebody else created the wheel first instead of, us doing that. But I have not seen a draft plan yet on the website or on the town association website.
And I think, if I may, I'm going to have that right up on my board. It's going to be in front of me every day. As soon as we find a draft or a template that we can tailor to Walton's needs, then we'll do that. But I will keep in touch, Patty, with you and Len moving forward on this, just so it doesn't, and I'm going to post it right up here so it's always right in front of me because we really need to get that done.
Rhonda, can you repeat the exact name of it? Because I'll take a look and see what I can find too.
Yes. New York State Public Employer Mandatory Emergency Plan. And it was Senate number 8617B and Assembly number 10832.
Okay, thank you.
Yep,
And you said September of this year it was passed.
correct.
Okay. All right, good.
And the other thing I had is that we were contacted by the Delaware County Planning Department for Opportunity Zone, and I forwarded that to Patty, and thanks Patty for helping me complete that. I did get it back to the Planning Department, so they may now apply for grants with our information. So that has been completed.
Thank you.
And yep. And then the other thing I had was September and October was very busy dog months as far as people originally licensing dogs. So that number was very high, but a lot of people did come in for the month of October. So we are currently right now at 74 dogs past due. And a lot of them go back to January through July. There was quite a few of them that we're just waiting to follow up with. And I think that's all I have. Yes, that's all I have.
Okay, thank you, Rhonda. Okay, if you'll notice on the agenda, we have a resolution to extend the quarry lease agreement. This is something that we did last year, and we have to extend it through, correct me if I'm wrong, the end of the year of 21, correct, Rhonda?
The end of the year of October 1, 2022 was the
Correct.
date that we're extending it to.
Okay, so the extension is through October of 22.
This is McGibbon.
Yes.
Yes. So both parties have signed it and Jeff has signed it.
So you need to move it.
Yes.
I'll move it. Patty would.
Dr. Rodriguez, second it.
Okay, we have a movement and a second to extend the quarry lease agreement through 1 October 2022. All in favor?
Aye.
Are there any opposed? That resolution is carried. Thank you. Okay. Now we have the resolution of the 2021 budget.
I'll move the resolution. Leonard
I'll
Governor.
second it.
Second.
Okay, Leonard Govern moved it. Patty Wood seconded the resolution to approve the 2021 budget. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? None opposed. That resolution has carried. Thank you. Okay, and we have a resolution for the shared service agreement with the Highway Department. This is something we do every year, and it allows our highway superintendent to share services with other highway departments, and it's been effective for years, and that's why we keep doing it every year. So
I just want to make a correction to that, Joe. It's every 5 years that we have to update this.
okay, every 5 years, but it's something that's been, continuing on for years.
I
We'll
move
make
it.
a motion.
And I'll
Okay,
second it.
okay, we have a movement by Kevin Armstrong and a second by Patty Wood to the shared service agreement with the Highway Department. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? That resolution is carried. Okay, thank you. Okay, I just got a couple of other items under my report. I received a letter from Gail Sheridan dated 4 November 2020, and it's as follows. I, Gail A. Sheridan, resigned from the Walton Town Planning Board as of December 31st, 2020. Gail. So, you know, I'd like to have on record that I think the town is indebted to Gail for his how many years on the planning board?
Long
I
time.
should have that figure, but it's been forever. So, and he will, you know, with all that knowledge, that's going to be tough to, you know, backfill. But either way, he's on till the 31st of December, and I will discuss with the current planning board members on a replacement to fill that position, as a replacement as a chairman and a replacement as a member of that board. So I hope to have a name for December's meeting. Rhonda's going to keep me in tune with that, right? Thanks, Rhonda. Okay. And I got a call from Sean Letty this afternoon referencing the trail, walking trail. What's that?
I need a motion for that resignation.
Oh, do we have, yes, I'm sorry. Is there a motion to accept the resignation?
I
I'll
will.
move it. All right, I'll second that.
Everybody moves it.
Okay. Patty Wood moved that motion to accept the resignation. Lynn Govern seconded that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
I,
Any opposed? That is
Okay, two
carried.
things, if I might. It would be nice to do a certificate and present that maybe at the December meeting to him.
Well, should we wait? Just a question. Should we wait till the January meeting because he goes through the end of December?
Yeah, that would be fine. January then that we do it.
Yeah, we'll do something. Yeah.
Okay.
Make sure he's there.
And the other thing that might be helpful is the county has an emergency management plan that goes down to the town. So I'll get a copy of that, and we can see how that portion of it, because that really just deals with natural disasters.
Right.
But I'll get a copy of that so that we add that in when we start working on the rest of the plan.
I have the, it's over there, the disaster plan.
Okay.
I think it's the one that is currently getting updated. So, but we'll look, either way, we'll look at it.
I just wanted to give my 2 cents on that, Joe.
Okay.
Yes, the county has a master emergency management plan. For CRS purposes, I wrote a emergency plan for the town of Walton, which basically mirrors what the county does, with some added information in there. That should sit on your shelf over there somewhere. Actually, I believe the town had the town adopt that as a policy. So that might be a place to start, or at least this plan that we need to develop, feed this new plan into that emergency plan that I wrote. Yep, that's it. You got it.
So that can be our starting point.
Yeah, that's possibly our starting point. I would have to see what the state is requiring for contents of this plan to see how that feeds into what's already been done.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, well, I think once we get into the nitty gritty of this other plan, it may be something totally different. But hey, as we go forward, we'll see.
Well, in the discussion, in the webinar, a lot of your municipalities and counties already have emergency plans. So natural disasters, things like that, floods, fires, but not infectious control. So any diseases and stuff, they really don't have a plan per se at a town or village or fire department level to handle that. So this is more geared towards that. Not saying that you can't merge them all together, but that's what they want us to focus on. Storage, distribution of PPE, remote work, staggering employees, protecting employees, employee housing if needed, contact tracing, things like that.
Yeah, I think this should be like a tab within that emergency management plan. That's all.
Yeah, because
Walt,
that
did you
emergency
want to say something?
management plan, if memory serves, I haven't looked at it in a while, but I think it has, it might have a section in there already talking about pandemic. It just doesn't have the meat and potatoes that you need to have. The specific, you know, Rhonda's working on Tuesdays and Thursdays kind of thing.
This is Dr. Rodriguez. I think that the authority for this falls to public health. And basically we're going to do what public health says we do. And all what we need to do is incorporate that into our disaster plan type of situation. So this is just another COVID-19 related freak request from Albany. You know, we already have how to handle a pandemic through the county and the state. So we're not going to do anything different other than adjust it to our needs and capabilities, you know.
Yeah, I think that's a good point, Doc. Thank you. Walt, you want to say something?
Yeah, if I could. On the Cornell Local Roads website, clrp.org or whatever it is, .gov, I forget now. I was reading either yesterday or today, they're asking different municipalities and highway departments that have COVID-19, basically what you're talking about in that, any written plans. There's a 30-some page from the town of Hamburg's posted in there, and there's some other, I kind of looked through it. It's all related to COVID, and it's kind of windy. It talks about a lot of things that might want to take a couple minutes and take a peek at that, might spur some ideas too.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Walt. Appreciate that. Where did you say town of what?
Hamburg, I think. Like
Hamburg?
the burger.
Okay.
I think they've got plenty of people and probably an office staff to put this together because the document that's on there is quite professionally done. I was looking at it yesterday or today, it was on there.
And they're
And
just
they're
south.
also, what's that?
Oh, go ahead. I was going to say they're just south of Buffalo. So they have a big population out there.
Yeah, I think it's in Erie County, but they also have asking for any other municipality that has one. And I'm not sure how the whole thing started. I know they've been asking for the last couple of months if anybody has any, what are you doing and how, and it talks about the half crews. And I did not read the whole document. I just kind of cruised through it. I just thought that might be we get a couple of ideas.
Okay. I had a phone call from Sean Leddy today, and we talked about the walking trail on Water Street. And if y'all remember, we received that Mattern grant, what was it, last March or something like that, for a design of that. And Sean has put that off because he didn't have the necessary software to do that. He's just received the software, and he wanted to confirm that he's still good to move forward with that design. And I said yes. Steve was right there with me. when we were talking to him over the phone. So again, it's just for a design. It's a $5,000 grant that we received from the Mattern Fund back in March, and been waiting again. So
Is it going to take all of that for design?
what's that?
Is that just for design? I mean, is it going to take all of that for the design?
Well, that's all it's for. That's all the grant was written for. So if it only is $3,100 or whatever it is, that's what we'll get. But it was up to 5,000. We don't receive that money till we ask for reimbursement, right, Rhonda?
I believe we received 2,500 of that money already.
Oh, all right. So I guess we got half, and then we ask for more if the total comes to that. So, but either way, so there is movement on that. Finally, I received a letter from the New York City Environmental Protection about land acquisition. If you remember, I don't want to say the name, but there was a New York City was interested in purchasing X number of acres. I have a letter, and it's basically a form letter that we respond to New York City asking for this, this, and this. Well, I sent them that letter, and they sent back that they received our letter, and I'll make copies of what we received from New York City Environmental Protection. I'll put them in your box. Just wanted to give you a heads up on that. So, okay, that's all I have. So, Patty, we're into the area of committee reports.
Joe got the light in the pavilion that I couldn't get, so finally it's there. But we still have to go figure out outlets.
Yes, we'll one step at a time. If you haven't noticed, when you leave tonight, if you go by Veterans Plaza, you'll see the light is on in the pavilion.
We're not leaving. We're home.
Right.
You're leaving.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, okay, duh. Okay. Next time you're downtown in the evening, casually look over at the pavilion at Veterans Plaza and you'll notice the light. I think it does. It's really nice. It
I actually
illuminates.
haven't seen it yet.
You
I
haven't?
haven't seen it yet. No, I haven't been downtown. It was dark.
Oh, okay.
Coming. I'll come home in the dark soon.
Yeah, we all are. So anyways, and like Patty said, we're going to work on the electric outlet plan and make sure we get that executed before next spring, at least before the farmers market gets going again.
And just wanted to say a reminder that last year we voted on putting Christmas lights on the tree at Veterans Plaza. Actually, we're not going to take the red, white, and blue off. I mean, they're just going to add Christmas lights for the season and light them. The chamber is buying them, but we had left it red, white, and blue in honor of Charlie. But we voted last year that we could make them Christmas lights, so that's going to happen, but we aren't paying for them. The chamber is.
Okay. Has anyone had a chance to see the tree?
Yes.
At night?
Yep.
Patty, before you move forward with that, and I'm not saying stop, but go by the tree. Rhonda did a phenomenal job. Rhonda and Milt did a phenomenal job on that tree.
Putting more lights on?
You should see it. It's really, really nice. So
thank you, Rhonda.
Did you commit with the chamber? I guess what I'm saying is look at it before you commit with the chamber on doing anything.
The chamber just bought the lights because we agreed to it last year.
I know, but just
we're not going to take off the other lights. We're not taking off our lights. We're just going to add Christmas lights so it looked like a Christmas tree. That was the complaint that we kept hearing, was that it didn't look like a Christmas tree. It looked like a patriotic tree, which is what it was supposed to look like because it's Veterans Plaza. But for the Christmas season, if we were using it for Christmas, that it should look like a Christmas tree. So they already bought them. They haven't put them up yet, but Kevin is going to be part of that, putting them up. Hi, Kevin.
Hi. You never mentioned that tree.
Huh?
You said the bank tree.
Well, that too.
Oh, okay. This is why you attend meetings.
Yeah.
Oh,
I had no idea. In that meeting, I had no idea that they were going to ask you guys to put it up. I don't even particularly agree with that, but I appreciate that you guys said yes. But yeah,
we're going to try our best. The last time we did that, because that tree is so big, we borrowed we had the Ferris bucket truck, which we can't use now because it's not safe. And we used 2 bucket trucks to work both sides of it because you can't get around. Our truck's not so handy for doing that. But now I mentioned our truck, I will be asking Jeff about if that's ready so we can put up the Christmas lights, because we're going to do that again this year. So just so the board's aware of that, I will be asking for permission to use that. So, and I may ask Jeff if we're going to do the bank, he has bucket trucks, maybe he'd be willing to do, help us out on that, on the bank one too. So I'll get a hold of him on that.
the bank one was a surprise. I don't know why the bank isn't doing the bank one personally, but the chamber agreed to buy the lights for it because they thought they should. I don't know why, but whatever.
Okay.
But
So
I didn't see that coming.
Kevin, let's approve that right now, just so it's done with. We don't want to wait till December, do we?
No, we're probably going to do that maybe this weekend. So
Yeah.
I was going to bring it up, and we don't usually vote on it or anything. It's just we've been doing it for, I don't know, 15
No,
years.
So you don't need approval from the council to do that then? Okay, good. Then
Like a shared services agreement, so.
Yeah, just do it. Good. Good. Okay. If there's no other committee reports, abstracts.
Hey, Joe, did Walt have a report or?
Oh, I'm sorry. Walt sent me an email earlier, and I didn't even put him on the agenda because he did send me the email earlier that he has nothing. There's been no movement from FEMA, so he wasn't going to attend tonight's meeting. And I said, well, we're doing it virtual, and Rhonda can send you the link. So sorry about that, Walt. I skipped over you. But he already told me he wasn't going to. He didn't have anything, and I probably should have put that in the report. So.
Okay.
But yes, thanks for bringing that up, and I'll remember that again next time.
No report, nothing's been obligated, nothing's changed.
Okay. Good.
What does that mean? You lost your sense of smell? Well,
Tested for that this morning too. I can still smell, but I got one here. I don't know when it'll happen. I'm hopefully by this time next year, maybe it just goes on and on. But
yeah.
there was something passed that in the legislation about trying to speed up some things that I saw someplace on the federal side, but I don't take too much stock in that either.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot going on the federal
But
side,
if it does come, as I've said before, we're in the $250,000 range of money still owed. That's the 75%. And Uncle Andy still owes us, I don't know what, $70,000 or $80,000.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. Okay, so abstracts. Patty and Lynn, thanks for coming in and looking at those and signing those. Do we have a movement to accept or to approve the abstracts?
So moved. Patty.
Second, Rodriguez.
So we have a movement by Patty and a second by Dr. Rod to approve the abstracts. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? That's carried. Okay, we do need to go into the executive session. There will be a need to enter into it for the purpose of discussing a matter relating to a particular employee. We do not anticipate an action to take place following executive session. I ask the board to follow the executive session link that will appear shortly.
We got to get into another meeting.
Yes. Rhonda's going to send out another link to everyone to go into executive session. Did someone move it?
I did. Leonard Govern.
Second.
No. Okay.
Okay, Len Govern made the motion and Patty Wood seconded it to go into executive session. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No opposed. Okay, that's carried.
Okay,
So-
so the
Go ahead.
board member and Carly, bear with me and I will, I'll end this meeting and I will send you a link for the executive meeting.
Okay, so we closed out of this, correct?
Correct.
Correct.